when that dude was on the ground, his ass was all sticking out, I'd be like, you better stick that chainsaw up his ass. That's a missed opportunity. If you don't stick that chainsaw up his ass and go from the ass crack up,
we got a problem.
We got a problem. I don't want to see it, but come on, man. If you're going to do it, do it. And I guess I do want to see it. Terrifier 3. Ooh, I woke Martin up. Where? Yes, Martin, you better wake up, man, because Art, the demonic clown, has returned. And he usually returns for Halloween, as you see right here. You know, and look at him, Martin, like, yeah, I'm back. got his B-boy pose and everything. Look at that. Look at that right there.
And his little Adabisi hat.
Yeah, man, that little gay hat he got right there, cocked to the side. Look at him. Gangster. Yeah, man. And he comes in here for every Halloween, but you know what? He finally realized that's Mike's day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and if anything about Art the Clown said, you know what? I don't share the spotlight with anybody out there. So my man Art looked at the calendar and said, you know, Christmas ain't got a good slasher.
Okay, that's true.
Yeah, you know, ain't nobody around for Christmas. So, you know, why not make that my holiday right now? You know, there seems to be an opening right there. So now as you can see, Halloween is just not reserved, or it is not the holiday just for Art anymore. He can transcend any holiday at this point. He chose Christmas. And that is why he has brought us the gift of this heartwarming family film right here, just in time for the holidays, Terrifier 3.
You survived the most famous serial killer since Jack the Ripper.
Martin don't even look the trailer. Look at him. Martin's gone. Martin had enough of this shit.
Goddamn clowns.
2 seconds into the trailer, boy, like, I'm out.
Okay. Listen, I don't know about the movie itself, but from the trailer, it looks silly and cheap.
Well, Martin, you know what?
That sums it up.
That would be a compliment for this movie right now. And it would be. It would be. Silly and cheap is exactly what even the director would be like, yeah, you're right. I mean, movie costs $1 million to make. The other two, the last one cost $250,000 to make. The other one cost $50,000 to make.
Oh, okay.
So this right here, by Hollywood standards, it's cheap. Silly, yeah, it's silly.
I heard 2 million, but maybe it was just.
I think it's $1 million. And also, the director tell you, I've been trying to tell the people this is silly. I don't know why they vomiting and walking out the theater and getting all offended and everything. Of course, it's silly. It's over the top. I've been trying to. He'd be like, Martin, you would get it, sir. If anybody out there gets it, you do.
Okay, because I was like, all these kids don't notice that Santa looks like a demented clown.
Well, there's a whole story behind that. You've seen it out of context. That's a totally different thing right there.
Okay.
But believe it or not, Martin, that makes sense. If you want any kind of story here, or any kind of plot synopsis, we have the return of, they call her the final girl. You know, the final girl is always the girl that survives at the end of a horror slasher movie. Think Laurie Stroker, whatever her name is. Schroeder, whatever. That's the porn version from Halloween. But here we have Sienna, played by Lauren Lavera, who survived Art's last attack during Halloween, and he f***ed her mind up. She is traumatized. She's seeing things that she's not clear if they're there or not. They're horrifying images, but what's really making her lose her mind and ruining her chances of being accepted by her aunt and uncle, who she's moved in with at this point because Art pretty much blew her mother's head off. She's sensing and seeing evidence that Art is returning. And of course, everybody thinks she's crazy and won't listen to her until it's too late. Now, I'm gonna tell you something about this right here. Let me just say this. I admire the director. What's his name? Damien Leone. I admire the director, Damien Leone, for trying to add more story to this, because the last time these movies came out, I mean, let's be honest, they've been pretty much there for the kills and the effects and whatnot. So as Art the Clown has become more popular and more of an icon, and as Damien Leone does more with him, he's trying to add more depth to him, besides just giving him gory kills. So I admire that he realizes that there has to be more to this than just kills. There has to be some story. Otherwise, it's just an effects reel.
And you got to have something to say.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah, no, exactly. So he's created this deeper mythology here and lore that gives more nuance to the character of our, cut the bullshit, man. You know. No, cut the bullshit, all right? All right, come on. You can sit up here and talk about lore and mythology, and you can talk about all that shit all you like.
Symbolism.
Yeah, all that shit. You can talk about the battle between good and evil, heaven and hell. Man, come on, cut the bullshit. All right, it's still about the kills. All right, you can sit up here and add as much story as you want to. Ain't no nuance to a clown wearing shades and a Santa suit, running around with a damn axe and a bag full of weapons, killing people.
So it doesn't have an underlying anti-commercialism message.
It does. It absolutely does.
Okay.
There is imagery in there that is directly relating to what he just said.
Yeah.
Maybe you didn't see it.
Well, it was covered in blood, so I didn't see a whole lot of things. There's a lot of imagery between, you have those images of baby Jesus and the what do you call those things? The nativity scenes. Yeah, images of Christmas. Even doing things like decorating the tree with intestines and things like that. Yeah. So there's a lot of things to contrast between those two, but
there's more to it than that, I would say.
Yeah, ain't no nuance to this shit. It's still a damn, like I said, it's a clown wearing Christmas tree shades, dressed as Santa, going around killing people in the sickest way possible.
Can I ask you just a quick question?
Yes,
I don't
sir.
want to derail what you're doing. How did it end for Art with the last movie?
Well, I don't want to say anything because I'll be spoiling some stuff.
Okay.
Because it's still, people haven't seen it, and it's still a crazy way that they brought him back.
Okay.
And I'm gonna tell you this too: they don't even know how to bring him back. They this is how much they just kind of lack on story even though they're trying when it gets to certain parts. I don't know. I don't understand how this man came back.
That was my favorite thing about the movie, because the beginning, like the first 20 minutes, it feels like the in-between, like the 4th and 5th Friday the 13th. It's like the shit that you don't see Jason. It's like, I saw him get up and now he's walking around at the beginning of the movie. Yeah. And this movie kind of answers that.
Oh,
okay. They had him put on a black man's head and start walking around, and the next thing I know, he had his own head. He put on a black man's head, a severed black man's head, and walked. First of all, the body was walking around by itself, and then he put on then he got a severed black man's head, put it on a subway, and then the next scene he had his own head on. So I don't even.
No, there's another scene in between that.
Well, there's something in between that, but that doesn't even make a whole lot of sense. It's still something where they're just trying to show the effects more than anything. And listen, let me tell you something. I'm not saying this as an insult. I'm not. Just like what you just said, it looks cheap and silly. That's really not an insult for this movie. 'Cause I'm gonna tell you, Art is still the scariest slasher to me. You got Jason and Mike and Freddy and even Leatherface. Since my man is using a chainsaw in here, we'll put all that in there. But they all got limitations.
Do they?
They got the ratings board.
Oh,
okay. Now, which means that they can do some sick shit to you. They can be gory and but they got to do it quick. Otherwise, they're gonna get a NC-17, or you ain't gonna get released, anything like that. Art ain't got no limitations. Art said, "F the ratings board." Art is punk rock. Art is gangster. Art is independent. He's grassroots.
Okay.
He ain't got those kind of limitations on you, man.
He's also way more expressive because there's nothing covering his face.
Yeah. No, he's very much so. Very much so. So, no matter how sick he wants to get, he can do it. I want to kill a kid, I'll kill a kid. Hell, I'll kill 2 or 3 kids. Fuck you. What you gonna do about it? Kill your kid.
I think the movie opens with him killing a dog, and it's just from the audio.
Yeah, no, well, and by the way, they never showed that dog, so.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So, even Art, like, I ain't no dogs. Yeah, I ain't going against John Wick. That's where I draw the line. But yeah, the movie, movie opens up with Art killing a family for Christmas, on Christmas, for no reason other than the door was open or he just saw a house and said, you know what, they still got the lights on. I'm just going to go kill them.
I got 10 minutes.
Yeah. The reason why that's scary to me is because, first of all, there's not a lot. It is very random what Art does sometimes. I mean, there's a goal at some point, but along the way, he might decide to just walk up in your house and kill you for just because he can, and it's more to it than that. The way that he has no regard for children or anybody else, and the way that when he mutilates somebody, a lot of times he takes his time with it. That's the reason why they call him Art, because killing is an art to him. Everybody, every person, every victim's a sculpture.
Okay.
And he is sculpting you most of the time while you were still alive. And those scenes, it's you're going to be, that's the thing with art. Art is supposed to be pure evil. And I understand when Damien Leone says, look, like I said, let's cut the bullshit. You do it because you like looking at gory effects. You like blood. You like guts. You like that kind of stuff. I get that. But if you want to put it to the character is like, listen, I want this character to be more evil than all those motherfuckers out there. I want to be more evil than any slasher that's out there because he is a demon and the embodiment of evil. He's from hell. So I get why he takes his time with people and mutilates them. He thrills off of seeing how long you can last as he tears you apart.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm kind of caught between two things. I understand it. I'm not really with it, but I get it. And while I'm not really into that kind of thing, it makes me think like, he scares me like no other. It makes me scared every time he cross paths with somebody. If you get it quick, you good.
No.
If you get a piece of glass to the neck and bleed out, you were lucky.
The thing is, it's kind of like hacky, but kind of clever at the same time with this character is a lot of like old horror movies, it would end with, someone stabbing the main character smiling. This guy, the whole movie, he's doing that. So it can get old for some people, but I agree with you. I found it really scary at some part where he would really be grinning and someone's just laying there f***ed up looking at him.
Yeah. And it just makes you so full of dread every time you see Art cross somebody's path. So the character's effective, it's like the gruesomeness might be over the top, it might be too much, but I get it, it works for making that character horrifying. I really do. I mean, knowing these Terrifier movies, I've seen all of them. I dread going to the theater.
Yeah.
Because I just don't like seeing people being tortured. But that's part of the experience, I guess.
Yeah, I dreaded to go see this one because I liked the first one just fine. I think it's a very competent horror film. But the second one, it loses its mind and it makes no sense at a certain point. I just got kind of tired of it. But with this one, I feel like they kind of figured it out where the supernatural stuff wasn't so out there that it felt more coherent this time.
Yeah, you and I differ on that. I thought the second one was more coherent. Okay. This one I thought, see, that's the thing with this one. Because it's not to say that it doesn't have story elements or attempts that are good. As I was saying, they have the character of Sienna. I just showed you the character right here. I think, the thing is, for this being a cheap movie, they got some good actors in here. Mm-hmm. She's very good. When she's freaking out and she's traumatized, you feel it. Because the actors are that good. The aunt and uncle that she moves in with, they're good actors. So, and they have a kid named Gabby. She's very young, and they're so good that. And they're trying, that's the thing about it. There's a little bit of drama there that's pretty cool because they bring her in and they're trying to be helpful. But when she starts acting a damn fool and acting crazy, it's kind of like, look, we want to help. But because even the uncle is kind of like, that's your relative, bitch is freaking me out. So, we have a child. So she can stay here, but we might have to commit her ass again. And you feel, you're caught between feeling for her. Uh-huh. But then you understand their position too, and the actors are good enough to get that across. So this director, Damien Leone, he's getting better as a director with each movie. I think the story, you know, with him trying to actually make some sort of, again, mythology and lore here, that's where things are still not sticking with me. But, you know,
I thought that it worked. I thought that at this point, the actors' performances have improved a lot. I still think that what is holding it back, where I think we're kind of going to meet in the middle, is the script holds it back. Like, there's some big character moments where I was like, that fell completely flat. Like, what was that? Like, that was meaningless to me, but it was supposed to be a big moment.
Well, my problem with the movie is, like, again, you and I agree that the actors are good. And the actors are so good here with, like, again, I hate to go back to the aunt and uncle, but I was just kind of like, damn, I hate for her to move in with them because R's going to come in and probably kill all of them. And I dread that. I just can't stand to see that. And I'm not going to tell you whether that happens or not. So the character stuff is good. Sienna's little brother, I forgot what the actor's name is. He's good. His story doesn't matter so much. He's in there just because he's got some friends that Art is going to kill later. You know, that's the only reason why they're there. But he's good though. So the character stuff is good. What I don't like about this is the rest of the story. Because this is real basic good versus evil stuff.
And it's over the top to the point where watching it, it felt like
well, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
It's basic good versus evil stuff. It don't make sense. And ever since the series has gone supernatural, it feels like the director has just been making it up as he goes along.
So it wasn't supernatural in the first movie?
In the first one, you weren't sure if he was a serial killer or not. And there's something at the end of the movie to indicate that maybe he was. It's in the second one, they had to bring his ass back. So they said, let's just go supernatural with this.
And it starts going in dream worlds and all this other shit.
Is that why it's over 2 hours long?
Yeah, well, no, I'll tell you why it's over 2 hours long. First of all, this stuff it's so basic, good and evil, it don't even make no sense. Because now we just throwing stuff in there to just try to make some sort of background for this character. Sienna's dad was a comic book artist who drew something to open the door for Art to come through. And so he gave her a magic sword.
What?
Because she's an angel. And if he uses sword to defeat Art, then that'll save them. I'm just kind of like, okay, stop. Just kill somebody now. Because you're killing me with the story.
Yeah, that's the second one.
That's the second one, and it extends over to this right here. And it's like, okay, this shit is basic, and it's so basic, it should just be straightforward. But y'all all over the goddamn place. This makes no sense. You just stop. You don't just kill somebody at this moment. You know, it's just filling time until the next kill. It's like, that's all you're doing. You just tap dancing and babbling. You know, you just giving me a bunch of just mumbo jumbo until you get to the next kill. And I'm gonna tell you, because it really does feel like that. Because the movie will be talking about all this, you know, mythological stuff and demons, Art's new demonic background, and then the movie will just stop to have a scene that is there to be for a kill. It's a showcase. It's a
set piece.
It's a set piece. It's a practical effects set piece right there. And it'll pause the story for that, just to show torture. Just as, the director takes glee. So here's the thing, the director takes glee in people being offended and walking out. Oh, your bitch ass can't take it. Yeah, whatever. Here's the thing, I get it. I get why people walk out of this. I can see how this could push people's limits. Even people who are horror fans.
Yeah.
Because there are long scenes of torture here, people begging for their lives, of people, in agony, begging him to stop, as they're being torn apart alive. And that is the reason why the movie is 2 hours long.
Okay.
It is 2 hours long because it takes about 5 minutes for Art to kill somebody.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and that's what people are really there for with the movie. Let's admit what it is. I'm not into it, but if there is any appeal to me with this, it's I like how this feels. I'm a kid of the 70s and 80s. I had that crossover. So when I was like about 11, I was in that VHS age, and I was renting these movies, horror movies, just based on the effects. I wanted to see a lot of blood and gore because I thought that was cool to look at as a special effect. And this does feel like a VHS horror movie from the 80s.
Oh, yeah.
And that is why when you say it's cheap looking, the cheapness actually adds to the feeling of this film.
Okay.
They got those cartoon sound effects in there when they're like people up exactly the way that you'd expect them to.
Okay.
But, just film grade wise, set wise, it feels like it's contemporary, but it feels like something from the 80s, and I'm going to tell you something, man. Because I was raised in that kind of stuff, I might not like to see people getting tortured, and I don't. This is not a movie I want to watch over and over again. I don't. It's just not my thing to see people screaming for their lives as they're being torn apart. But at the same time, I'm not offended because I'm so used to seeing this as an effect now. There's moments in here where they like this scene right here at the beginning with the shower. That is probably that scene right there is probably one of the, depending on how you look at it, the best or worst kill out of this series. Worst being like it's probably one of the most horrific. But at the same time, with every kill in this movie, you can tell it's an effect because they'll show the person screaming, "Oh, no," and then they'll cut, and you can tell it's a prop. Because they never pan down while the person's screaming and then cut their legs off. No, it's a hard cut. That they're shaking and moving, and that limb is just as still. So the practical effects are very obvious here. They're not. I mean, if you really know effects and you know movies, it's the nature of it is disturbing, but it's fake. It's so over the top.
Okay, I was under the impression that was a thing that wasn't fake looking or that people went for because the practical effects look so gory and real.
They do look real, but the way that they shoot it makes it look fake.
Okay.
Yeah, it don't look like, a Halloween prop or something. It looks like, they've sculpted and molded and whatnot a real looking limb and whatnot that you see on the screen. But when they cut, like I said, it's obvious that it's an effect. It's obvious it's a prop. It's a good prop. And like I said, sometimes it's so over the top, but forget that you can tell it's a fake prop sometimes. It just gets childish. I mean, he goes so over the top. I'm just kind of like, come on, man. Now this is literal overkill right here. There's this scene where he's killing these people in the shower. He's got a chainsaw, and this is gonna happen. Man's lying on the ground with his ass sticking out, and Art's gonna go right for that ass.
Right.
He gonna stick that chainsaw right between those butt cheeks, man. Cut that girl's titties, started with the nipples and everything. I mean,
come on.
Yeah, I mean, they just do it real quick, but it's like, all right, once you start sticking a chainsaw up somebody's ass, that's just childish. And then flip them over and go for the balls too. It was like, come on, man. So at this point, I'm just kind of like, listen, I can't be offended at this. For one, you trying to get me offended. Right. I ain't taking the bait. And for another, this shit is goofy. And I'm a little sick too. I laughed at something in here I'm ashamed to say I laughed at. They blew up a kid in this movie. And and I laughed because they did it in the most Looney Tunes way. I mean, the effects are horribly gory, for a little kid. But I was like, you know what? It caught me off guard so quick. And again, it's just kind of like, come on, man. Why are you doing this? And the way they did it, it really was some Wile E. Coyote shit. They did.
No, you're right. No, I agree.
And I'm sorry, I laughed my ass off at that, and it wasn't. It caught me off guard.
Yeah.
The laugh just came out of me, and I was like, "Damn, did that come out of me?" I was like, "Man, what is wrong with you?"
Yeah, the tone that this movie's going for is very strange. Like I laughed here and there like a little bit, but there were other people around me laughing more. But I was like, why are you laughing at that? Like someone got their arm cut off. Like what's funny about that?
Art is being silly. Art is, he's doing his comedic thing, but no one was laughing because I think everybody's just kind of horrified. Nothing like, except for my stupid ass up there laughing at this kid getting blown up. But then everybody looking at me. What's wrong with you? And I'm like, hey, man, he got me. What can I say?
There's some stuff that they did near the end that I actually thought surprisingly was kind of clever. And when I realized what they were doing, I thought it was kind of funny.
Yeah. People, the only thing that comes close to this is your boy Jigsaw.
Okay. I was talking with some friends last night about this, and they were making the Saw comparison. But we were saying how, I can't speak to Terrifiers because I haven't seen them. But I was like, with Saw, at least there's a story behind it. And
I prefer the Saw movies. Someone asked me about this weekend, and it's because they have this grandiose melodramatic story going on around it. And I really like that with the gory stuff in there. Here, not really to the depth that they go in those.
Yeah,
He's
yes.
right. Like they know what their priorities are. You can try to tell a story as much as you want to. Your priority is still to like show all these blood, kill people, mutilate these people. But that's the thing, you know, Saw even has its limitations.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, art ain't got no limitations. You know, in fact, Jigsaw wish he was art. Shit, I would hate for those two to team up. That would be truly horrifying if those two teamed up right there. I mean, they got the same kind of branding and everything.
You don't think art would just turn on Jigsaw at some point?
Yes. Yes, I do. Yeah, put him in his own trap.
Right.
He'd be, no. So, yeah, man. No, the effects are, but the effects are cool. Don't let me actually sit up here and say, even though you could tell they're fake, I
don't know, man. They're fake. They're childish, but they're cool.
It's childish to put a chainsaw up somebody's ass, but it looks cool.
Because it's pretty realistic looking. Like,
Yeah.
you know it's fake, but they do look pretty real.
That's the thing about it. You know, when they cut to it, the cut indicates it's not real, but it's a realistic prop that they have.
Yeah, the depiction is wild. And some of the times where these people are getting mutilated, they do a good job of putting prosthetics on them where you can see one part of their eye or their face or something where it's like, someone's still acting there.
Actually, you hit it, man. The besides the props being, and yes, it's childish to stick a chainsaw up somebody's ass, but you know what? I'll be honest with you. When that dude was on the ground, his ass was all sticking out, I'd be like, you better stick that chainsaw up his ass. That's a missed opportunity. If you don't stick that chainsaw up his ass and go from the ass crack up,
we got a problem.
We got a problem. I don't want to see it, but come on, man. If you're going to do it. I guess I do want to see it.
Yeah, I got this box. If I don't check it, I'm going to be pissed.
Yeah, it's there. I mean, I don't like this kind of stuff, but I mean, we got to do this. But you're right. The makeup effects are actually very good.
Okay.
Yeah, the makeup is there's a lot of people who are getting this, you know, they're getting skinned and their faces are mutilated and their faces are chopped up and ground up and it's just it's just meat on skull, and yet but it's makeup on an actual actor, and it looks very good. So, I mean, I got to give it to this movie for the practical effects and the makeup in here, man. You know, it's really something I can't recommend to anybody. I feel kind of bad myself, praising it because it's sick shit. But I grew up with this kind of stuff, and from a special effects standpoint, I like it. I would like it. What's that?
It's a unique angle that feels almost forgotten with modern horror movies. Like, people are like, well, what about Hostel movies? It's like, man, Hostel is way overrated. This at least feels like it has a personality. Yeah,
and it's not taking itself very seriously at all. So, I mean, and so there's that. So, I mean, like I said, if you're looking forward to just, something that's almost nostalgic, going back to the era of effects, practical effects from the 80s, that's something that you should see this for. I would actually watch a masterclass about how these effects are done right here if they taught it. It's like, boy, I want to mutilate you right now. I want to get a chainsaw sticking up your ass right now.
Is there a masterclass on getting you to not do that?
Unless you got
a masterclass on segues?
No, unless you got a chainsaw, you cut my head off. No, and then I'll just come back and do it again. Come back like the clown I am.
Come back wearing Art the Clown's head.
Yeah, but you know what? I don't apologize for this segue right here because, as everybody knows, I love Masterclass. I do have to give a word out to our sponsor right now, which is Masterclass. And the reason why I love Masterclass so much is because, well, first of all, you can learn from the best to be your best. And what do I mean by that? I mean that Masterclass is the only streaming platform where you can learn and you can grow your knowledge with over 200 of the world's best in their category. If you had a college course that taught this, it'd be $1 million. Get it for $10 a month right here on your own time, because with this, you can access Masterclass on your phone, your computer, your smart TV, or even listen to it in audio mode, which I kind of do. in my car. I've been keeping Masterclass on in my car and listening to that. The video is actually playing, but I can't put it in audio mode, but I just listen to it anyway. And when I'm at home, I watch this, and I've already watched a couple of classes here. But you know what? Let's take a look at some categories that they have here. You know, I always show you the arts and entertainment first, so you can see some of the very famous people. Judd Apatow, Ron Howard, Samuel Jackson teaching classes. Martin Scorsese, who would have ever thought you can get Martin Scorsese to come in here and teach cinema? You got so many other categories: business, community, government, food, music, science and tech, sports and gaming. Let a master teach you something right now. And people like, a master at what? Okay, you know what?
Baiting.
For that person out there, get out. I was gonna give you something. The rest of you, I got something for you right here. 15% off any annual membership at masterclass.com/toasted. That's where you go to get that 15% off. I really do enjoy this. I'm not just telling you this to try to sell you on it. I do use it. And it's like almost listening to a podcast in my car, except I'm learning a lot more. So I want to thank Masterclass for sponsoring this portion of the show. And of course, I want to thank all of you out there for your support. Now, regardless of what anybody thinks about this film, I think almost everyone will walk away, if you saw the movie, complimenting this actor right here, David Howard Thornton. He's the guy that plays Art the Clown, and he gives a great performance. If you read reviews on this movie, especially like the last couple of movies, no matter what people say, they always say that this guy's great. You know, because the way he plays the character, he's playing it like a silent film comedian.
Yeah.
You know, and he's very expressive. He is very comical. His timing is great. And the way he plays the character, there are times when, this is what's kind of cool about the character too. This character is one of the most horrifying slashers, if not the most horrifying slasher out there. And there are still times the way this guy plays the character where you'd be like, oh, you know, Art is kind of cute. Art's a little endearing. Like in this scene right here where he sees Santa. And he loves Santa Claus. He wants to go see Santa Claus like an 8-year-old boy.
I love my chimney. Oh my God, come here, chimney. Come. Let me walk.
I've got a chimney. Okay,
I
girl.
love that little rain.
Yeah, that's Clint Howard. Yeah, there's a couple of cameos in here.
Okay.
Yeah,
For Christmas. That Santa outfit comes with some perks, dude.
Hey man, the thing is, you say, and I say that you won't like this movie, but and I think Julian would agree. You love this scene right here.
I'm loving it already.
Yeah, at least until a certain point, but you love this scene right here. They don't know how lucky they are. They give him a t-shirt. I survived Art the Clown.
Hello. Hi. Hey, Santa, it looks like you got a fan.
You know, it's cute until, you know, and don't fall for it, because the cuter Art is, the worse that death is going to be. Yeah, it's so that act is very good, man. You know, and another thing I like about this this movie series, I mean, I just have a lot of respect for it. I know a lot of people, they're really turned off by the violence, and like I said, this is made for a very, very, very specific niche of people out there. But I just love how independent this series is, you know, and has remained to this day with this movie right here. You know, this is the most expensive of, like I said, $1 million or $2 million, depending on, you know, what you read.
But you gotta respect the hustle. It's incredible. Yeah.
It's you know, this movie still remains very independent. It still remains one of the most successful independent series out there. You know, it's not like, you know, these other movies that are like, oh, we're independent, and you hear that they got a $50 million budget and about 5 A actors in there.
Friday the 13th is so corporate now, they can't get anything off the ground because there's so many people involved and so much money, they can't agree.
No, I love the success of this movie right here. This movie killed at the box office this weekend. No pun intended right there, seriously. No, this movie, I mean, it did great business, and it did it all on its own. It did it by building up on its own, building its own, you know, whatever I think about the mythology or not, it built up its own icon. It advertised on a grassroots level. You know, everything this movie has done has been on its own and is earned on its own. I'm gonna wrap myself up here, or wrap up my. No, Art does that. I'm gonna wrap up my review here just by saying this. Okay, so when you get right down to it, this is really not for me. I don't like seeing people, like I say, tortured, and I don't see myself watching this over and over again. But I do love the effects, as I said, and the thing that makes me look forward to this every time is the guy who plays Art. I love his performance in this. You know, if it was the 80s, this would be the movie that all the kids would be trying to rent and watching at slumber parties or sneaking, trying to get their brother to rent it for them or something like that. And you better not have your parents catch you watching this shit. You know, this would be the one that would be cool to kind of be sneaky and watch. I don't know how things today play around, you know, or play out. You know, I don't know if kids still have to sneak around to watch something, but you know, this would be the one that little kids would just want to watch for the effects. They get it, you know, and they wouldn't be as horrified as the adults. You know, they'd understand all this is fake right here.
I wonder how that works because it's not rated, right?
No.
So anyone can go in. So like if a 15-year-old wanted to buy a ticket, would they let them?
No.
Okay.
No, they still have to.
They treat it like an R-rated movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, you know, you better not let no damn. I mean, unless you got like 2 9-year-olds on each other's shoulders wearing a mustache or something, you know. But yeah, no, this is. I would give this a high rental, man. Definitely would be more for the fans who are big into this. It's made for you, you know, and that's what people got to realize. And I'm making this for anybody anymore. You know, they know it's successful for the people that they are selling this to. They're buying it, and you know, it's for them. I don't know, it'd be a full price for them. I don't want to sound, you know, sick and demented myself, but yeah, there's a certain part of me that this appealed to, and I liked it.
Yeah, I went into this like really not looking forward to it. I wasn't really a fan of these movies. I thought the first one was like an okay cheap horror film, and I thought the second one was bordering on bullshit for me. But with this new one, I was actually kind of surprised how much I liked it. I would say that this is by far the best one in the series, no question. The dialogue and some of the writing really holds it back, but I think that this character is going to take this franchise to the moon. I think within 10 years we're going to get Art the Clown in space, and I'm kind of here for it, you know?
Might as well. I mean, if you can go into space with Art, they don't take this movie that seriously.
Exactly, and I think that they actually had something to say this time that I was not expecting, and I walked away kind of enjoying it. So I would give it an extremely low matinee. I'm right about there with you with a high rental, but I think that seeing this in a theater with an audience adds something to it. And as far as this movie being gross, I thought Dennis Quaid eating shrimp in Substance was grosser.
Like I said, you're right. See with the crowd, you know, the audience, you can tell when they're into it, even if they're horrified. And it's look, it's Halloween, y'all, and you can't go in saying nobody told you know what you were getting into. I mean, if your ass walked in there, you don't know them. I don't know. Shit, y'all might see this and think like this is a family film. It's damn clown when he shades.
Yeah, depending on your family.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we know there's a lot of families out there. So
those wooden teeth.
Yeah. But hey, most of the time you can't say you didn't know what you were getting into. So there you go, folks. Well, you made it to the end of the video. That must mean you really like what we do. So if you do, check out these other videos just like this one. Check out our other YouTube channels and subscribe to join our wonderful Toasty community. And as always, stay toasty.